Hey guys, welcome to Jason Explains Things. I've got another installment in the old Dodge for you today. We're going to be installing two different lighting products that I am really excited about. Also, not sponsored. Bought all this at full price with my own money. So, number one is we're going to be installing some period correct looking fog lights. These are from KC, the Daylighter series, Halogen, and they have a stainless steel housing. So it's going to look really awesome. We're going to be drilling some holes and mounting those to my front bumper. And then after that, these are not halogen, these are actually LEDs, but these are the Holley RetroBright LED headlights. And with these trucks, the headlights, as you see here, are a full glass housing. So we take the old housing out, put these in. These are supposed to be plug and play, much brighter. But the thing I liked about these, and the reason why I've never done LED headlights on my truck, is because these look completely stock and they're even the right color temperature. So these are gonna be 3000 Kelvin. Jumping back to the fog lights for a second, I got to give credit to where I got this idea from. There's a guy on Instagram named AP Garage Honkling. I think he's out of Europe. He has a beautiful, like dark brown D-series pickup truck from the 70s. Along with the install of these, we're gonna be wiring a switch onto my dashboard. The switch is just gonna be a simple toggle switch. Let's start with the fog lights. It's gonna be a good time. Oh. The quality of this kit is definitely high. I am very pleased. So we got our two lights and light housings and then the hardware to mount them. We have our two very classic looking KC covers for the fog lights. We've got a sticker, we've got zip ties, we got our relay. Here's the included switch, but then here is all the wiring you're going to need. So this is more than enough, and we'll just trim this to size a little bit as we go. Okay, next step, we got to figure out where we're going to be drilling our holes. Okay, you're not here to actually tell me what you think, but go ahead and leave a comment, see which one I pick. Because we have these bumper guards right here and right here. Frankly, if these weren't here, I would put them right there. I think that would actually look pretty good. But because these are here and I love them, I'm not gonna get rid of them. I have to essentially have to pick, is it gonna be here or is it gonna be here? I think they're gonna have to be here. I think that's what's gonna look good.
For starters, I need to find the exact center point of the bumper. First eyeballing with tape, and then measuring using the license plate mounting holes and bumper guards. Next, I measure the halfway points between the middle of the bumper and the bumper guards.
All right, I got the spot that I'm gonna drill for both holes measured and marked out. Now, one thing I'm concerned about is clearance between the fog light and the grill here. And so what I did to make sure I have enough is I tilted this mount all the way back so I have complete control, of the tilt of the light, because if I do this too far back, the light would have to be kind of pointed down, which would probably make it look pretty stupid. So I've eyeballed this now several times. It definitely is going to be okay. Time to drill some holes.
To drill the holes, I first used a center punch to avoid any slipping, and then I drilled small pilot holes with a titanium bit.
That was closer than I thought.
Next, I measured how large of a hole the lights would need, which was about 1/2 inch. I then drilled the 1/2 inch holes with a DeWalt step bit. By the way, I'll have Amazon links for all this stuff in the description. For some extra credit, you can also deburr the holes as well. Let's move on to wiring our new fog lights and the switch to control them. First, disconnect the negative lead to your battery. Second, drill a hole to mount your relay and apply paint so it won't rust.
All right, all of the wiring is done inside the engine bay to the lights. Let me show you how I did it. It is incredibly easy. First off, we have our relay and we plugged in our wiring harness to that. Outside of that comes a variety of different wires. First off, you have a yellow wire with a fuse that goes directly to your battery. Second is a black wire that can go to ground wherever you like, and I put it over there. And then we have our waterproof plugs that go to the lights directly. Waterproof plug to light number 1, and then down we go over that way to light number 2, and then up to the relay.
With all that done, the remaining black and green wires need to be passed through the firewall into the cab. The white wire with an inline fuse connects to the fuse box inside the cab, so that doesn't need to be in the engine bay at all. So I cut the sheathing to separate the wires and cut off the black and green end connectors so running the wires through the firewall goes smoothly.
Now I think this is a nice touch. I'm using the existing factory wire sheathing here, and we're gonna go, and then I'm gonna start using the sheathing that I already have from this point on to the firewall, and I'm gonna go through that hole right there that so far is only being used for the hood pull. So I think that's gonna be a nice spot. Come on. Yeah! Yeah! Wiring your switch, whether it be this one from Doorman or the one supplied by KC, it's all the same. So, and also these are all nicely labeled for you. So black is ground, green is load. Essentially, this is power going to the relay, and then power going to a switched power, which is pretty much any yellow wire under your dash that's being used or not used is what you do right there. So that is that. So this is the white wire coming from the switch, and also there is a inline fuse that I used from the wiring harness along with that, like I showed you earlier. And this, I tapped into this switched power right here, and this was actually just dangling here. This is an unused wiring harness for an accessory, probably like, you know, the power for the power windows or something that my truck just didn't have. So this was just sitting here. I tested it to make sure it worked first, and it did. So that is what I am using for power. So this is all complete. I'm gonna mount the toggle switch right here because my headlights are right there. So it'll just be right in line with that. But let's test this out. Okay. On, toggle switch, and yeah! Woohoo! Drill a hole in your dash to securely mount the switch. The longer toggle switch I showed for a bit ended up sticking out too far for my liking, so I switched back to KC switch. Fog lights are done, moving on to the headlights. Before we install the new LED headlights, let's take a brief look at the original headlights at night. As you can see, they leave a lot to be desired, and they're hilariously overpowered by the new fog lights. I always forget how terrible these headlights are at night. Let's head back to my house and swap these out. Okay, so we won't have to disconnect the battery or anything for replacing the lights. As far as in the engine bay, it's just a plug you can easily see from the backside. But we are going to have to remove some of this dash bezel to get at the bracket that holds the light in place. Boom! Ooh, rusty. Original light, new light. Definitely a very close match, and I've already checked off camera, and the little bracket to hold the light in place works perfectly. So let's put this guy in. No, I think we do have a problem. Well, we're running into a problem. So the back of the light housing is deeper than the original. It's hitting right here. So I can go ahead and notch this out, and then it should be fine. But then I have to cut stuff. Let's make sure this thing works before I go any farther. Yeah. Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, that wasn't pretty, but my notch has fixed the issue just barely. I finished installing the lights and then reinstalled the trim. Now after that, you'll immediately need to adjust your light so the beam is even. I did this outside in front of my garage. This can easily be done with the trim on with a Phillips head screwdriver. Time to take the old Dodge for a test drive. While driving, there was a noticeable improvement from before, but if I'm honest, I was expecting them to be brighter. Regardless, this is definitely an upgrade that makes night driving safer. Final thoughts on the old Dodge light upgrades. First off, I love the KC lights. They are first really, really bright, and also they look cool with the covers on too during the day. 10 out of 10, couldn't be happier. As far as the headlights, they're definitely improvement at night. They also look perfectly stock, so I think if you saw this driving around, you wouldn't think that it has aftermarket headlights. You'd think they're straight out of the 80s, which is my intent. so I'm happy about that. But they do not come cheap at $200 a pop. These are $400, and they're not gonna all of a sudden make driving around at night into, a modern experience. They're still pretty dim compared to my 4Runner or other LED headlights that I've used. So kind of curb your expectations a little bit for those, but they're still an improvement. And as far as everything I've seen out there, these are the best. If this is your first time watching one of my old Dodge videos, there is an entire playlist for you to check out with videos about fixing oil leaks, just all sorts of stuff that I've been doing over the past 3-4 years, fixing up this truck, making it as awesome as you see it now. So please check that out. Leave a comment about other videos you'd like to see on my Dodge, and maybe I can get to those. I know one that is gonna definitely happen this year is a spray and bed liner that I'm gonna do myself later this year, so look forward to that. And until next time, everyone, God bless, and don't forget to do yourself.